my fellow countrymen, I'm pressed to speak on this topic, negative effect of our traditions. Our tradition is good, but as time is evolving, it's becoming counterproductive. What am I trying to say? From the experience I have as a man over the years, I have seen where cases that are supposed not to be came up as a result of the tradition of the place. For example, I was just going through the news a few days back. I saw the story of an Anambra widow woman by name Vivian Omumere. How his in-laws came and burnt down their properties and disowned the children. Recently in the news too, we heard that of Ifunanya, how Ifunanya came all the way from US, single-handedly rescued the father from the hand of death. So many whole lot of stories that has to do with traditions. There are things that people don't understand. Time is changing very fast for everyone. What happened in the 60s is not what is prevailing now. Things are fast changing, and people have not come to the realization that they have to kind of soften a little bit. I want to ask a question here. The woman you are chasing out with the children has lived with the husband. The husband's name is Philemon, who died in December 17, 1923. Before then, they have lived for years. For the woman to have been able to get children for him, so it's not like a one-year marriage. And suddenly the man passed on. The good thing, not minding the pain of losing her dear one, not minding the sorrow in the heart of the children that have lost their breadwinner. All the in-laws could think about is to come and destroy the property, disown the children. Then, now they have done it. Who takes over the property? A property they don't know what the man went through to build that property. They don't know what it takes the man to put up that property. You see, tradition, some tradition have to be changed for God's sake to make life easier, especially for the women and the children. Most reactions you see when a man is gone has to do with envy. Maybe the man is not the type that want to listen to them or dance to their archaic idea. Maybe he's an exposed man, learned, and he decides to do the right thing. From the distance, they are envious, they are bitter. All the blames are put on the woman, the wife. As soon as the man passes, you see them rush in with so much anger and bitterness to unleash the accumulated anger and grievances against the woman. Okay, that aside, I will still come back to this. You look at Ifunanya's father, who was just lucky that she has a brave daughter, came all the way from US to look for the father and went through all manner of frustration, but she stood still to get the father rescued. It wasn't an easy task for her, but she eventually overcame. One of the reasons why I'm looking at our tradition as not being favorable to the women, a woman is married to a man. They are happily living, but bearing a child become an issue. There's always this pressure on the man. Go get another woman. Go get another woman. Not knowing that the woman in that house is not even happy as a human being, not having a child that she's supposed to have for the man. And when the pressure gets too much for the man, he does the will of the people against his own will. It breaks the heart of the woman. In most cases, the woman will leave that marriage and start life all over. Sometimes frustration. Sometimes some of them don't last longer. Sometimes some of them go into drinking and all manner of negative things which they were not doing before. When you push a woman out because she's not bearing a child, tell me, Is there any tradition that produces child for a man? Tell me, within Africa and beyond, tell me any tradition that gives a man, a woman, a child. Tell me. We believe in superstition. I don't believe in such things. It's only God above that gives a child. The woman taking the blame of not being able to produce a child, the judgment is always not fair to them. I notice African tradition is, let me say, 90% against the women. 90% against the women. A man dies, it's the wife that killed him. A man is sick, the woman is promiscuous. That is why the woman's stomach is swollen. We dwell so much on these things, all against the women. I want to go back to the issue of Mrs. Eze, Vivian Onwumere. The woman and the children have been chased out. I want to bring this to the knowledge of our lovely women. Traditional marriage is good, but it is not enough to protect you in your marriage. You know why? It doesn't have the legal strength when it matters most. Every wise woman, even if you have done the traditional wedding or marriage, so to say, encourage your husband to do court wedding where it is legally registered and certificate is issued. If in the case of death or demise of your husband, you stand the legal right to claim whatever belongs to you and the children. That I know as a child. Most people are always carried away. They throw big parties for traditional wedding and they just feel the elders has accepted, the villagers are aware, the in-laws are aware, and it ends there. Go further. Seal your marriage with a court wedding where it will be legally registered. In the case of Vivian, if Vivian has a legal backing, let's assume Vivian's marriage was consummated in the court after the traditional wedding. She doesn't need to panic. It's just like somebody who insures his car, comprehensive, an armed robber comes to attack you. You don't need to struggle with them. Allow them carry because you know you get a value of the money back to get another car. So if she has done that, maybe they did a court wedding. They come to their house to do what they did. She shouldn't worry. She doesn't need to be crying. All she needs to do is to go to the courts and get justice. It is a lesson to other women who are yet to be married, who are planning to be married, or who has already married but they have not done court wedding. Insist, now that you are alive, that court wedding is a must to cover you and protect you in your marriage. Most people don't know this, but I'm telling you the way it is. Ask any lawyer. They will tell you. Traditional marriage cannot protect you when it comes to legal cases. But court wedding certificate goes a long way to protect you and the children if your husband passes. One of the reasons in the past our forefathers are like, I want a male son, is simply because of farming. Those days, they do manual farming. They need men to weed the farm, clear the bush, that do all those kind of hard jobs. That's why they were looking for men. Time is evolving now. Farming of that nature is gradually phasing out. It's mechanical farming that is on now. Modern farming, where you use mechanical things to do your farming. It's not like before you carry cutlass and who digging the ground. Some people have girl child as children and they are angry with the wife. They are very bitter. You think God giving you those girls as children doesn't know what he's doing? If you have a daughter like Ezekwesili, Ndidiwala, as a child, If you have them as children, and you have boys in your family who are armed robbers, who are street urchins, idle people, all these agbero collecting money on the street, which one pays you as a father? Which one brings more honor to you as a father? This tradition of I must have a son does not exist anymore. Wise men today go for all kind of gender, be it a girl, a boy. It's okay. What they need is education. Give them quality education and leave them to the world. They will survive. I want to also look at the area where men go all out, doing all manner of nonsense out there in the name of being a man. But a woman makes just one mistake. The way it is loud, it echoes in the forest of Babylon, as if it has never happened. But the man does it, and sometimes he feels so good. He thinks he's a superman. There are a lot of things that just need to be changed. I'm looking forward how the women on their own will arise, stand up to fight this injustice against them. Gradually, they seem to be saying what a man can do, a woman can do, but it's not enough. They need to push a bit harder to protect their marriage, to protect their children. The tradition of our land, especially the old tradition of our forefathers, is in favor of the men, not the women are disadvantaged. And I don't like it because the nature of my job has exposed me to so many cases that I just keep wondering what is going on. I was one time an insurance person. I've seen when a man died, a customer of mine died, the wife is the beneficiary, unknowingly to the family. When they realized the man has insurance, a life insurance, they came to the office